with a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the first item is the acceptance of the October 28th Planning Board minutes. Are there any additions or subtractions or corrections to the minutes that as were distributed?
I don't have any.
Okay, hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the first item on the agenda is 49 West Main Street, No BS Brew Company, Steve Gray for a site plan modification. And so there's going to be two parts to this. The first part that we will ask the applicant to explain what it is that he wants to do. And then because it involves alcohol, we will be having a public hearing. And then after the public hearing, then we will proceed with the application resolution. So given that, Stephen Gray, I believe, will you be speaking for the applicant?
Mostly, yes. If there's any
Okay.
technical questions, then we'll interject, I'm sure.
Okay, well, the floor is yours.
And is to utilize the space, approximately 1,200 square feet, to put a satellite tasting room. Currently, we have a tasting room and brewery in Livonia. The tasting room would be similar to the setup that we have in Livonia, with a bar, several tables with seating. We'd have probably 10 of our craft beers on tap. We'd also sell local wine and spirits out of that location. I'm not sure what the occupancy load would be there, probably somewhere around 60. The plan is to sign a 5-year lease for that space and to operate out of there. We've been in business. It'll be 2 years next month down in Livonia. The space is very well received from the locals. We have not had any issues as far as any types of complaints or anything down in Livonia. There would be no production on that site in Victor. It would be strictly a tasting room. There'd be no smoking in the building. Probably not anywhere even around the building, but we would plan to sell cigars out of that space as well for use off-site. Our cigar sales here in Livonia are pretty high, and we do have an outdoor space here in Livonia, which they're enjoyed outside, but a lot of people do buy them to take them with them to smoke off-site. Is there any questions as to any other items that might be going or things that would be going on there?
I have some before we open up the public hearing. First, do you anticipate, once we have the better weather, to have any like outdoor seating as far as, serving of the beer?
I could envision a couple of seats out front of the building if it's okay by the village. Kind of like on the, there's a, I want to say like maybe a 15-foot wide area or 20 feet wide. We would have that like roped off. Like you would commonly see in front of a restaurant, where they'd have it kind of roped off with like the barricades they use like at a movie theater.
Okay.
Maybe with a couple tables.
Okay. The other question I have given the environment that we're in right now, my understanding is, places that are selling alcohol have to also provide some sort of food.
Yes.
Are you gonna be having like chips or pretzels or peanuts or something of that nature that the patrons would be have to purchase when they're purchasing the?
Yes, what we do in Livonia, we sell like a package of crackers for 5
Okay.
cents,
Okay,
and we would do that in Victor as well.
okay. Okay, and the other thing, I guess those are the only two issues, unless the board has any other issues or that they'd like to ask before we open up to a public hearing.
Did you mention hours of operation?
That was my next question.
Great question. In Livonia, we run 7 days a week, year round. We would anticipate doing the same at the Victor location. Typically, we open at 4 p.m. on weekdays. Monday, Tuesday, we're open till 8, 4 to 8, Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, 4 to 9. Thursday, 4 to 9. Friday, 4 to 9. Saturday, noon to 9. And Sunday, noon till 8. We would adjust those hours as needed. We wouldn't be open any less. If anything, we would be open more depending on how it's received.
Okay.
Normally, we're open till 10 in Livonia, but with the new executive order from the governor, all patrons have to be off site by 10. So we close at 9, and that gives us time to, let people get a last call and not feel rushed out the door at 10 o'clock. Once that's lifted down the road, we would probably extend our hours to 10 p.m. instead of 9. That would be the only real big change I would possibly see.
Okay. Does the board, any of the other board members have any questions?
No.
How are you going to be handling trash?
I believe Kevin is providing a dumpster
Okay,
on site. With the tasting room, there shouldn't be an overabundance of trash.
okay,
It would be
okay,
maybe some cups and napkins
Okay.
and stuff, but
okay. Okay, hearing no other questions, and I will read the legal notice for the public hearing. Public hearing will be held before the Village of Victor Planning Board remotely via the Zoom app and be viewed on the Village YouTube channel on Wednesday, January the 27th, 2021 at 7 p.m. to consider the application of Stephen Gray for No BS Brewery Company LLC for a site plan modification at 49 West Main Street to change the use from a business to a tasting room. The parcel is located in the Village Center Business Zoning District. At this time, the public cannot be present in person at the public hearing, but can comment via the Village of Victor YouTube channel, which can be found at the villageofvictor.org under the Village of Victor virtual meeting on YouTube. Other ways to comment are via email at ptclerk@villageofvictor.org or via US mail to 60 East Main Street, Victor, New York, 14564. Comments can also be submitted to our mailbox located at the Village Hall. If you have any questions, please call 585-924-3811. With that, do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any comments that we've received in writing? Roseanne,
No,
have we received any inquiries through the YouTube channel at all?
No, Meg.
Okay. Okay, does any of the other board have any questions?
I don't.
Meg, could I add something?
Absolutely, you're the public.
I just wanted to add and let the board know that this is almost the exact same use as Cork 49 that was there. They actually had a couple of tables out front, outside, as you recall, for the wine bar as well.
Right,
They had very similar hours to what these guys are proposing. I have indicated that if they do put tables out front, they can't go in front of the Howard Hanna space because that's another tenant area, but they can put tables right out in front of their little unit there. So,
okay,
so that was fine with me. I was fine with that. You asked about the refuse. We have a dumpster there that they can put their garbage in. Other than that, I think that they covered everything except for the fact that they didn't bring any of us any beers tonight.
Sorry about that.
I think Benjamin is the official taste tester for tonight.
Yes, exactly. That's all I have, Meg.
All right, thanks, Kevin, appreciate that. Any other questions or concerns?
Only a couple of questions.
Go ahead.
One, do we see a parking problem with 60 people? That's what's that, a couple cars? But Main Street, I don't see a parking problem. Is anyone else on the board?
No, my presumption is that that they would use a village parking lot that's behind there. And given the time frame, the only conflict perhaps might be the library. And so they would be mindful of that. And I believe Mead Square, they have their own parking. So so you understand that that would be something that you would be monitoring yourselves, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone else have a concern with the parking?
I don't.
Yeah, Meg, just to comment on you're talking about the Mead Square Pharmacy?
Correct, right.
Yeah,
I mean, is that parking is specifically
that's
for them in the
actually-
doctor's office?
Yeah, that's actually village parking.
Right.
Mead Square only owns the lot underneath their building, so all that's common parking back there.
Oh. Okay, I was not aware of that. Okay,
I think they control the parking spaces, which would be on the east side of the building.
well, they would be facing like the park, so it would be kind of more south of the
That's what
building,
I'm
right?
saying.
And then there's the east of the building, the parking that's along Mead Square Lane itself, correct? And then where the library is, a parking lot that's there. Would be with what's available.
Right, other than those.
And the street.
Well, my point was, other than those parking spaces that face the east on the
Mhm.
doctor's offices, just off the doctor's office, I believe those are Mead Square, aren't they? And that's it?
Well, I think Kevin, you just said that that's all considered village parking, correct?
Yeah, the parking along Mead Square Park is village parking. All the parking in front of the library is public parking. And as I said, the Mead Square Pharmacy, even though they think that's actually their lot, it isn't, because they have a zero lot line building. So actually that parking lot by Mead Square Pharmacy is public parking, but Mead Square Pharmacy closes at 5 p.m. anyway. The only private parking in the area is Canandaigua National Bank, and they can't use that. And the only other private parking is the 9 lots right directly behind our building. And and Ben and Steve are aware that they can't use that. Other than that, it's all public parking back there.
Okay.
Okay, yep.
Okay, any other comments? If not, I'll ask for a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I'm just, have you had a chance to look at the code enforcement referral comments?
Yes, I,
Okay,
I noticed the one thing with the health department,
correct.
correct. I, I'm not sure how Ontario County works, but with the brewery here, the tasting room is governed by the Ag and Markets of New York State.
Okay,
And we could certainly have the health department come in as well, if that's required by the village. But typically breweries and tasting rooms are inspected, if you will, for sanitation by the Ag and Markets.
oh, okay,
We're putting a kitchen in the Livonia space. That part of the brewery will be inspected by the health department, but they don't have any say over the brew space or the tap room, tasting
okay.
room.
And there's like one, two bathrooms in there?
Yeah, the plan is to have 2 bathrooms.
Okay,
By state law, the tasting room does not have to have bathrooms, but we'd be
okay,
foolish not to have bathrooms. So we
Okay.
decided to ask Kevin if we could add another one. We have 3 in Livonia, and sometimes that's not sufficient,
mm-hmm,
given the amount of patrons.
okay.
Depends on the day, though.
Okay, has the space been certified for 60 people?
I'm not sure what they'll figure out as far as capacity.
Okay,
I believe that the zoning officer will set
right,
that.
okay, because it'll be interesting if you were able to get that many people in there, but as whatever that the occupancy is whatever, it's determined by
Sure.
code
Yep.
enforcement, okay. Are there any other let's see. There's the second part of this application is the sign, so we'll do that separately. So as far as the site plan modification, are there any other questions or concerns by the board?
I don't have any.
No, I'm fine with it.
Okay. Hearing no additional concerns or comments, do I have a motion to approve the site plan modification for 49 West Main Street, No BS Brew Company?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
And now the sign is a separate application. So can you explain what it is that you, the sign that you want to do? And put the information into the record?
Sure. There will be technically 2 signs, 2 aluminum signs.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to try to match the existing color of the stucco. It's not really stucco. I think it's stucco. Fascia.
Okay,
There's like a beige tannish
right,
that should match pretty close. That will have black vinyl lettering on it,
okay,
looking much like the rendering that we sent in.
okay,
There'll be one on the front of the building and one, I think that's the north side, Ben?
North and west.
North and west.
Yeah.
There'll be one on each side of that, and then we'll also have like a printed logo on the front door.
okay,
One thing that's not on there is we'll probably have the hours also in vinyl lettering.
okay.
And we could certainly submit something if need be for that. It's kind of
I wouldn't think so.
Okay.
The square footage on the sign that's going to be on the door doesn't violate the 30% of the window space, so.
Okay.
This is essentially our window logo in Livonia. It's the same as our glass logo, and it's about 20 inches by 20 inches,
Oh, okay,
like that.
yeah,
So it's very basic.
okay. Are you gonna put the hours right away, or, and like, would you anticipate having to change that? If you're gonna change the hours? Or
No,
is
we
it-
we would start with the hours that we talked about
Okay,
and then adjust as needed. If anything, possibly given that we're in the village, opening prior to 4 may work on like a Thursday,
Mhm.
possibly,
okay,
depending on the foot traffic.
okay,
Uh, We're well aware of I think it's roughly 25,000 cars pass that
Mhm.
location each day.
okay,
But I'm sure, some people are going to work or whatever,
Right.
but we would probably also have a sandwich sign out front at times,
okay,
especially early on. We'll utilize social media for most of our advertising, but I also don't want to miss out on folks that are passing by wondering what's going on in there,
okay.
on their way to work
Um,
or on their way home.
If you're gonna do the sandwich sign, can you, like, send a letter to the village?
Of
What it
course.
is that you want to do, and, you do, one of the requirements of, the portable sign is that it can only be out on the street during business hours.
Perfect.
So if you're not going to, when you're not open, you'll have to bring the sign in.
Yep, that makes
But,
perfect sense.
Yeah, so because it's not a part of this application here, you'd send a letter what it is you're wanting to do.
Okay.
Make that part of the application. Are there any other questions by the board as far as the sign program goes?
No, I don't have any.
Nope.
Okay, then do I have a motion to approve the sign program for 49 West Main Street for the No BS Brew Company, for the 2 signs on the building and the one on the door, with a submission to with a portable sign to be submitted to the planning board. Do I have that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second,
One sec.
All those in favor?
Hey,
aye.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you,
Aye.
everyone.
Okay, you're all set. It's gonna take us couple of days to get the permits together and things of that nature. And so we'll let you know when we have all that together. When do you
Perfect.
anticipate opening?
We were anticipating starting the build out March 1st. We're probably gonna bump that back a little bit, a couple weeks
Okay.
maybe,
Yeah.
mid-February-ish.
Yep.
Okay, okay,
I would think earliest would be April 1st,
oh, okay,
but that is probably not realistic. Maybe May 1st would be more realistic.
okay. Well, then you would have an opportunity to get that information as far as a portable sign to us.
Yes, yep.
Yep.
Okay.
For sure.
You
Very
guys
good.
meet weekly or monthly, or how often?
We meet monthly. It's the
Monthly?
fourth
Okay.
Monday of, it's the fourth Wednesday of every month.
Okay, thank you.
Okay? And welcome. Glad to have you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
guys.
Thanks,
You're
everyone.
welcome.
Good luck.
Have a
to you.
good night.
You too.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, the next application is for 191 West Main Street, Farmers Insurance. Sarah Boderi, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
That's okay. It's Bottery.
Boderi, okay. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Okay, so what I'll need you to do is to present what it is that you want to do.
Okay, so we have an existing sign there for Farmers Insurance. And what we'd like to do is add a 12-inch by 48-inch panel on the bottom, which I don't know if everybody can see this or not, but here's a picture of it.
Right, that should be with our packets.
Okay.
We received an
Oh,
example of
perfect.
it.
Yep,
Okay,
perfect. Yep, so we're wanting to add that in there for the other company that's owned by Dave Wager, Foster and Wager.
okay,
The office there will be used, it's really for more business purposes. Foster and Wager is a manufacturer's rep, and we do sales and engineering design. And all of the engineers are local, not local, but they're all remote, and they're, you know, from Pennsylvania to Long Island. So there isn't any additional staff in the building, but we need to have a location for mail and 1099s, W-2s, all that.
right, okay,
Uh,
okay. Sorry, I just got a new dog and she's not used to us yet.
Is that your bag, Mike?
Sorry. Hopefully she'll settle down. Okay, I'm sorry.
All right.
No,
That's
you're
all the-
fine.
Hey, get up here. What you're saying is they're just using it as an address place, not necessarily a place of business. Is that what you're?
Correct. Well, so the operations like accounting, I help with accounting for
Okay.
Foster and Wager as well. So I'll be doing that out of that office. We
Oh, okay.
have in Webster, which is
Okay.
where this has been for probably 25 years. But with COVID and everybody working remote, we
Right.
sold the building. So we needed to condense the two offices down, and
Okay.
was the better selection for us to condense the two businesses down.
Okay. Okay. Now, as far as the lighting,
Mhm.
there isn't any lighting on the sign right now, correct?
No, the light fixtures are broken
Okay.
and they need repair. So we're getting estimates right now. We've
Mhm.
gotten from Marlock Electric, which is in Newark. And then we're also going to be looking for somebody local to see if, you know, we can get an estimate from them. Marlock's, to be honest, was really high. So we're trying to find a local electrician that might be able to give us a little bit better estimate.
Okay.
But fix that, you know, one's hanging there and it's, you know, it just doesn't look good, and they're not, you know, it'd be nice to have them fixed and actually working properly on the sign.
Okay. How is the existing sign? Is it one that shines from above or from the ground?
There is no light on it at all right now.
Oh, all right. Okay.
The only light, as you can see there on the one side, one of the pillars is where there is a light it's on, there's one light on each side that
Oh.
did shine on. I think at some point, it may have even been before we were there. It might have been on the sign that was there before the farmers.
Okay.
And then, you know, the landlord was gonna fix it, but hadn't gotten to it. So we just decided we'll get it fixed.
Okay. Well, the one that I would like to see, because we're trying to keep the light from the signs shining on the sign. So the one
Okay.
where you're showing, you know, the light from above the sign shining down would be preferred. So if you could use that
Okay,
example, would be great.
sure.
Okay.
So because right now on that picture that you have, it looks like there's a light on it, but
Right.
it's just the way they inserted it in the graphics to show
Okay.
right now, the sign where it would be, the way it's located, it looks like if it were working properly, would shine up on the sign.
Right.
What we'd like to see is have us do something that's mounted on the top there
Right.
and then down. Okay,
Right. Which would be like the bottom example that you're showing on this graphic.
I got you. Okay.
Okay. And let's see, the comments from the code enforcement officer. He says he doesn't see any need for a variance for this application. It brings the existing sign to the limit of the square footage for a ground monument sign.
Okay.
So there's not any problem there. Does the board have any questions as far as the sign is concerned?
I don't have any.
None?
Oh,
On here.
Okay. Given that, do I have a motion to approve the sign as presented with the lighting to be from the top and shining down on the sign? Do I have that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Aye.
sorry. Okay, very good. And it'll take us, we'll give you a call when the sign permit's ready, okay?
Okay,
But you
great.
can go ahead with, manufacturing or getting estimates or whatever, because that doesn't make any difference to us, okay?
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Wonderful, and welcome.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Anything else from the board? Sarah, you don't have to stay.
Okay, thanks.
Permission granted.
You can. Take care.
Okay, is there anything, Bob, from the board that we need to be aware of?
Just the trustees have started the budgeting process. If you're having trouble sleeping at night and would like to stop in for 2 hours of listening to budget, going over the budget, you're always welcome to come.
You want us to come to your meeting and tell you that we want 100% raise for our
Yes, you can do that.
consideration? Okay.
Um,
When is that? Or is it's a process and you're doing it?
It's the budgeting process.
Yeah,
It's a process that we do every year, starts about this time, put together, requests from the different departments. And Diane does most of the work on it. And so she runs the meeting and we pretty much just go over line by line our upcoming budget,
okay.
looking at our revenue and looking at what our expenses are going to be for the year. So that is just started.
Okay. Do you have usually a date in which that happens?
That we approve it.
Or that you want input from the different boards? Because I usually she hands me a sheet and I just fill it out.
I think we've gotten the input from your board and that we're going to have. I mean, we're
Okay,
really
so this is
pretty
the
much in the
one
process
that
now.
I filled out like in December or so?
Probably.
Okay, all right.
And also, I mean, as most of you are aware, and we've gone through some changes with code enforcement. And we went through a process where we had a part-time person doing code enforcement. And then during this last year, to give us more flexibility and cut costs, we went to the town and contracted code enforcement through a town code enforcement officer. That worked out very well, except that the town, things are picking up at the town and they couldn't give us his services going into the new year. So we were for a couple of weeks, we were without a code enforcement officer. And we have gone to the county, and now the county is providing code enforcement services for us. We'll pay for it, but I mean, they're providing the service. In the meantime, we have we're advertising for a new code enforcement position. And we're looking to get somebody who would be a full-time person who would probably split their time between code enforcement and working for John at the DPW on some of his projects. So that's what we're looking for. If anybody knows somebody that's has training and experience in code enforcement and is looking for a position, we've started interviewing and will be for the next couple of weeks. So if you know of anybody, pass their name along.
Okay.
We're hoping to have somebody and get them up to speed pretty quickly and fill the position. But we're hoping for a full-time position that would split between DPW and code enforcement.
And Bob, just going off on that, just so the board knows, since I'm on the fire commissioner board, the Sean McAdoo, the code enforcement officer, he actually resigned from the town in November, and he's now taken a full-time position as a district administrator at the fire department. So Sean is there, and Marty Avila, the also code enforcement officer for the village and the town. He's a volunteer fireman. So just to let everybody know, the town doesn't have Sean's services anymore, only on per diem for court cases or something like that. So that was a loss to the town.
Yeah, that
Sean's always
precipitated
been
our
a fireman
problem
at
a little
heart, and
bit.
he's helped running the fire, the new. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
A question that I have, if I've remember reading information, is that there's a moratorium on building permits? No, I
No.
didn't read that right.
There was-
Okay,
No, Meg, I know what you were reading. We had a public meeting that would have put a moratorium on building projects.
okay,
Because in those first 2 weeks of the new year, we had nobody who was able to do code enforcement. Because Marty had been called back by the town,
right,
and we really had nobody to take his place. So in desperation, we had proposed that public meeting,
okay,
but we were able to get the services from the county in the meantime. So at that meeting, we ended up canceling the meeting and canceling the request to
okay,
have a
all right.
moratorium. No, good catch.
Yeah, because I was thinking that, where does that put us with these applications that we've approved tonight if we don't have someone that can issue a permit?
Right. No,
Okay, any other questions or concerns from the board?
the only other thing I've got is just, a thank you to you and your board for all the services you do. And also a request to, when things are slow, I hope that everyone is able to take advantage of some of the training. I know there's so much experience on this board, and a lot of you have been through it for years with the training. But it is something we need to do by regulation is all of us to do our training. So sort of watch for opportunities, especially if you can do them online.
Right, and yeah, I
please
find
do
it's
that.
easy to do that myself. Except I have a hard time finding topics that I don't already know about.
Yeah, well, and with, and looking at your board, I'm sure the same thing. A lot of
Yeah.
you have been through all this before,
Mm-hmm,
but it's just something we have to do.
right, okay,
But thank you.
okay, well, thank you. Okay, anything else I need to be worried about?
I see the bank is coming along.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah, looking good. So, okay, very good. Well, appreciate all you guys do for me, and especially Roseanne and Pam, you guys are the best. So,
Yes, you are.
Keep up the good work.
Given that my little one over here is telling me it's time to go for a walk, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Good night,
Take
everyone.
care. Yep, good
Stay
night.
safe.
Last-
Bye, everybody.
last night with you, Meg.
Bye.